Hi, once again. This is an opportunity for my new subscribers and maybe some of the old ones who haven't dipped into my playlists for me to give them an idea of what's on my channel. I see many of my subscription channels delivering vinyl new finds, so I'm going to call this video sort of review new finds. And my channel has gone up. I've had about 30 new subscribers over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I reckon there's a lot of material on there that the new subscribers probably don't even know exists. So this is my sort of quick ad. And I'm going to break it down into decades. So we're probably going to have a few short videos. I'm going to start with the 1970s because that decade has more material than any. And I think I added it up to be about 38 to 40, may be as many as 40 of my videos are from the 70s. Hardly surprising, because that was my teenage years. Starting 1970, I was 16 years of age, and ending up 9 years later, I was 25. So these are the most impressionable years with regard to musical tastes. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to put them in a sort of image slide of the album covers. I'm going to try and do it as prettily as possible, so that if you want to check them out, you'll know. So let's get started. I've got a piece of paper here with them listed. I couldn't possibly remember them all, so I'm going to go through them. We'll start with 1970 then, and the reviews that I've got for that year include Moondance by Van Morrison, Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deep Purple in Rock, Layla by Derek and the Dominoes, Stephen Stills, a first solo album, Getting to This by a British band, Bloodwind Pig, another British band, Thank Christ for the Bomb, and Thank You Motorbike. So it's virtually impossible to have videos here that are nice and quiet. Thailand can be extremely noisy. American Beauty is the next one by the Grateful Dead, and the last one there on 1970 is The Man Who Sold the World, and guess who that's by? Well, we know, David Bowie. Right, I'm going to continue now with my rundown of my 70s reviews. With 1971, I've got 8 from that year. Message in the Country by The Move. Many of you might not know about that one. Nursery Crime. Yeah, that's from Genesis. Hunky Dory by David Bowie. Roots, it's the second album by Curtis Mayfield. Little Feat, the debut album. And I've got Teenage Licks by a British band, Stone the Crows. Surf's Up, which is by the Beach Boys, of course. And Where I'm Coming From, which is by Stevie Wonder. So I think that comes up to about 8. So moving on then to 1972, just 4 from that year I've reviewed. Honky Chateau by Elton John, Can't Buy a Thrill, the debut album by Steely Dan, The Eagles, their first album, and a very early JJK album called Naturally. To 73, I've done 7 from that year. 10cc, debut album, Overnight Sensation by Frank Zappa, Taking My Time by Bonnie Raitt, Tattoo, Rory Gallagher, Down the Road by Stephen Stills' Manassas, and Laid Back by Greg Allman, and The Innocent and the E Street Shuffle by Bruce Springsteen. Right, I'm going to continue now and round them off for the 70s. 74, I've got King Crimson's Red, Veedon Fleece by Van Morrison, El Dorado by the ELO, and Late for the Sky, Jackson Browne. Just one from 1975, The Hissing of the Summer Lawns by Joni Mitchell. From 1976, I've got 3 reviewed. A Trick of the Tail by Genesis, Chicken Skin Music by Ry Cooder, and Howling Wind by Graham Parker and the Rumour. Strangely, 1977 is absent. I'll have to do something about that because it's a tremendous year of music. 1978, I slipped in Darkness on the Edge of Town this week by Bruce Springsteen. And then in 1979, I've got the Solitary One review, and that's by Elvis and Costello and the Attractions, and of course it's called Armed Forces. So that concludes this 70s roundup, and I'll be moving on to the rest of the decades in the videos.